Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of So Not Scary. In today's episode, we are going to talk about 9 reasons why your mini sewing machine is not stitching properly, or 9 problems that you might be facing when sewing on your mini sewing machine and how to overcome those problems. Now, before we get into those 9 problems, let me just quickly say that if you guys are in a rush and you think that you cannot watch through this whole video, check the description down below because I've started putting timestamps or video chapters in the description. So you can literally click on what video chapter you want to watch, click on it, and it's going to take you to the exact part of the video that's relevant to you, okay? And if you stick around to the end of the video, or if you click on the last video chapter, you will find that there is a free printable that you can simply just keep on your computer, and it's going to show you all the different 9 problems that we talk about in this video and how to solve them. And it's got clickable links which will take you to the exact video to help you out of that problem with your mini sewing machine, okay? So with that out of the way, let's get started. Problem number 1, your mini sewing machine keeps skipping stitches. Now, if you're using several layers of fabric, or if you're using particularly fuzzy fabrics like cotton flannel, or maybe you are sewing a layer of batting in between layers of fabric, your machine will struggle to sew those layers, okay? A quick and easy way to resolve this problem is to simply increase the pressure on your project by pressing down on that little presser foot using something small and pointy like a pair of small scissors. As soon as you do that, you will see that the machine is going to stop skipping stitches and start sewing properly. Now, I am going to point up to a video right here that you can click on to see exactly how it's done, okay? And the exact document with the link and all the 9 steps is also down below. It's a PDF file. You just simply click on the link and you can download it onto your computer and keep it on your desktop for reference. Moving on. Problem number 2, your bobbin keeps bouncing. So if the little bobbin which sits right there, if it keeps bouncing, make sure you do a few different things properly. Number 1, make sure that you are following the nifty 9 method for inserting the bobbin. Number 2, make sure that you are using a high quality thread which is not fuzzy. I recommend using threads like Coats and Moon, or better still Gutermann, because that is the best thread and that's going to give you the best performance. Number 3, make sure that there's a little screw which sits inside here. See this little screw there? You've got to make sure that that's tightened up properly. If that screw isn't tightened properly, your bobbin's going to keep on bouncing, okay? Now, once again, I'm going to point up to a video that you can watch to see how this is done. But once you follow all these steps properly, your bobbin should not bounce, okay? Problem number 3, the lower thread is not coming up. So if you've just set up your mini sewing machine and you rotate the hand wheel towards yourself to raise the lower thread and it's not coming up through that little hole underneath the presser foot, what that means is that the timing on your bobbin housing is out. Now, I would only recommend that you use this fix if you've got an older machine, or if you cannot return or exchange the machine at all, okay? So if that is the case, then use this tutorial to set the timing correctly on your mini sewing machine, and then your lower thread should start coming up properly and you should be able to get sewing. Problem number 4, your fabric keeps bunching up. Now, the very first thing that you should do if you feel that your fabric is bunching up is to switch to a higher quality thread. That's always the very first thing that affects all kinds of performances with all sewing machines. So make sure you're switching to a high quality non-fuzzy thread. Secondly, make sure that your fabric is properly compatible. You must not be using a very lightweight fabric. Make sure you're using a nice, sturdy, medium weight, non-stretchy woven fabric, okay? Now, if you're following these steps and your fabric is still bunching up, there is a chance that your upper thread is too tight. So you need to lower the tension on your upper thread. How do you do that? You simply turn your thread tension controller to the left. So remember, lefty loosey. Okay, so you turn to the left, the tension loosens up, and your fabric is going to stop bunching up as you sew. Problem number 5, your thread keeps breaking or nesting. Once again, if you watch this video where I told you my mini sewing machine made me cry, like literal tears, it all boils down to thread quality. And once your thread quality is on point, you also need to make sure that the tension is balanced perfectly. The quickest and easiest way to check the tension is to follow my square method. So in the PDF document download down below where the link is, you will find that it's gonna, if you click on the link, it's going to take you straight to the video which shows you how to follow the square method, and you will be able to set the tension properly and to balance out your top and bottom threads. Once you do that, and once you use a higher quality thread, your bobbin's nesting should stop. Mini sewing machine problem number 6. Your upper thread keeps slipping out of the needle. Now this is a very basic problem that loads of us face, and sometimes even I face that too, and that's simply because I've not set up my mini sewing machine carefully enough. Now if I bring my sewing machine close to you, you will see, look at that, look at the top thread right now. Do you see there's only a tiny little bit of thread poking out beyond the needle's eye? Look at the white thread. That's not how it should be. You should have at least 8 inches of thread passing out from the needle's eye. So if I pull this, that's still too little. I need to pull some more thread through. So I'm going to make a loop there, pull some more there, and now when I lower the needle in, it's not going to slip out of the needle. Okay, so make sure you've got at least 8 inches of thread passing through the eye of the needle before you start sewing. Problem number 7, it's not sewing thin fabric. Well, the straight answer to that is it's not designed to sew thin fabric. Okay, that's the very first fundamental of setting up your mini sewing machine. Make sure that you're using the right fabric. However, don't be disappointed, I have got a hack for that. So if you look at this video right there, you will see what hack it is, and it's actually using a stabilizer, and you don't even have to go out and buy an expensive stabilizer. I've got a home hack where you can just simply use a plastic bag from your kitchen, cut it up and use it as a stabilizer, and you will be able to sew very thin fabrics as well, like chiffons and georgettes, just fine. Okay, so follow that link to find out how that's done. Problem number 8. Your fabric is not moving. Now there are 2 reasons for this, 2 main reasons. The very first reason why your fabric might not be moving is that you're using a knit fabric. Now so many of you have been writing to me saying, oh, we're using a cotton, it's not a knit. Cotton can be a knit as well. Simple cotton with which you've got your t-shirts made, or your jersey tops made, or your stretchy pajama bottoms, that's all knit cotton. Okay, knits are not just sweaters and jumpers and cardigans. Okay, knit is actually the way in which the fibers are knit together, creating a knit and purl pattern, and we talk about that in detail in this video. Okay, so the very first reason why your fabric might not be moving is that you're using a knit fabric. Switch to a woven fabric like I show you in this video. Okay, and secondly, if it still refuses to move, then what that means is that your feed dogs, which are these little corrugated triangles which sit underneath the presser foot, okay, those are the feed dogs. There might be a chance that those feed dogs are out of sync. Now, in order to adjust the feed dogs, make sure that your machine is old and that there's no way or no chance that you can return it or exchange it. I do not recommend that you open up your machine to look at the feed dog mechanism if you've got a new machine or if there's a warranty on it that you can return it. Okay, if you have no other choice whatsoever, then you can watch this video, which is going to show you the gearing mechanisms that you can look at and see where that problem is occurring and see if you can fix the feed dogs. and in that way your fabric should start moving. But always start with the conservative fix first, which is to use a medium weight woven fabric, okay? And the final mini sewing machine problem is that it's just not sewing well. It's unpredictable. It's sometimes it sews well, sometimes it doesn't sew well at all, sometimes it skips stitches, sometimes it doesn't. It's just acting in a very unpredictable manner, which is very uncomfortable for us as sewists. So if that is a problem, then the very first thing you should be doing is that you should be cleaning out your machine. So take a soft bristle brush and clean out all the bits in the machine where you've got the thread passing through. So between the thread tension plates, okay, through here where the thread passes through, open up the lid of your bobbin housing and stick your brush inside. Give everything a good clean. And also, my preferred method of cleaning the mini sewing machine is by using a spray duster. I've got this spray duster. It's basically a can of compressed air with a long straw at the end, okay? And when you squeeze it, let me give you a quick rundown. When I squeeze that, okay, air comes out, and that blasts away any dust built up inside the mini sewing machine. So if your machine is not sewing well, make sure you give it a good clean, ideally with a spray duster, and then set it up all over again. Rethread the top thread and the bottom thread with high quality non-fuzzy thread and get sewing, and your problem's going to be solved. And that was a roundup of the 9 basic fixes for why your mini sewing machine might not be stitching properly, okay? I hope this was helpful. Once again, if you do not have the time to watch through the whole video all over again, or to chase after each and every link which has been posted in this video, simply go down to the link below. There's a link to the actual document, and here's a screenshot of the document. I worked really hard on getting this document made for you guys. Please keep it on your computer. Please do not take this lightly, because there are links within that document which will take you to the exact video, which will walk you through how to resolve each and every problem that you're facing on this 9 problem spectrum, okay? So click on the link, download it to your computer, and keep it on your desktop for reference. If you have any questions, specific questions that you want to discuss one-on-one with me, by all means, email me on Instagram, okay? I am there at Ooni Crafts. Send me your emails, include a short up-close video clip of the exact problem you're facing, and together we can talk about it and try and resolve the problem. Just remember that the problems that we can fix, or the problems that I can help you with, are limited to what is manipulatable. If it is a manufacturing defect, for example, if the needle is not lined up with the hole in the base plate, that's a manufacturing defect. There is no going around it, okay? But for most other problems, if your machine is not broken, we can discuss it, we can talk about it, brainstorm ideas, and try and fix the problems together. So send me an email, drop me a line, and I'm going to try my very best to help you out as best as possible on there, okay? Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, consider subscribing, because here we talk about beginner sewing. So everything related to beginner sewing, ideally in a mini sewing machine, that's what we talk about here. So hopefully you're going to find something useful here if you are a beginner sewist as well. Thank you guys. Comment down below if I can help you out further, and I shall see you guys soon. Bye!